What's going on, everyone? So the Milwaukee Bucks lost again, but it's not so much that Milwaukee is on a 3-game losing streak. It's the teams in which Milwaukee keeps losing to. They just keep losing to bad teams. They lost to the Toronto Raptors, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Washington Wizards. I mean, you're talking about 3 teams that have been atrocious. I mean, the Raptors were on like a 15-game losing streak leading into this game. So the fact that they basically took an L to these bad teams is not very good, right? Like they have not looked good all season, and they're just kind of getting worse in reality when a lot of these teams are starting to pick it up. Like you look at teams like the Suns or the Lakers, right? That really had their struggles. Even Houston, right? Like that were having not the success this season, all really starting to pick it up. I mean, even Dallas, right? Like these teams are on multiple game win streaks and have won multiple games or have won, 8 out of 9 or whatever. And then you look at the other side and it's like Milwaukee's just falling apart. At this point, they're only a game ahead of the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 2 seed, for the Cavs to take them. And they're only 2 games ahead of the Magic and the Knicks, who, if the Magic and the Knicks end up winning and overtake them, I mean, it's not out of the realm that Milwaukee all of a sudden is looking up and they're the 5th seed. Now, will that happen? I don't think so, but it wouldn't surprise me the way that Milwaukee's playing right now. I mean, these are games that they should be winning. And, in a bit of their defense, right, like, the previous 2 games against the Grizzlies and the Wizards, they didn't have Damian Lillard. And then in this game, they didn't have Giannis. But still, I mean, one, Milwaukee's actually been very good this year without Giannis and Dame plays. And 2, like you still had basically everyone else but Dame in the other 2 games. And again, you're playing teams that can't beat anybody. Right? You're playing really bad teams. And it's been the pattern with the Bucks this year. They just haven't looked very good all season. They haven't really looked like a real contending team. Like, I get they're the 2 seed, right? I get that they are this team that, like, you got Dame, you got Giannis, right? There's this perception that, like, just get to the playoffs and watch, right? Dame and Giannis, the figure it out. But they also look incredibly clunky at times. Like, they have zero clue who's who and what's what at times. Like, it looks like 2 number ones still trying to figure out how to not be number 1. It's weird at times. Defensively, they're not very good. They can't really stop anybody. I mean, your backcourt is Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley. Like, you're not really slowing teams down that way. And yes, you have Brook Lopez and Giannis down low, but it's hard when these guys are getting beat every possession, right? Like when you had Drew Holiday, he kind of just funnels the guy into Brook Lopez. You're in good shape. Brook's cleaning that up. But when guys are literally getting blown out, now Brook's got to step up, and now his man, it becomes a mess. And, look, Milwaukee has greatly benefit from the schedule that they've had this season, right? Now, they are a team that has shown that they could beat top teams. They're a team that has shown that, like, they could, like, I don't expect them to necessarily lose to one of these middle of the pack teams, right? You match up and you play a Boston. I do think that they match up well against Boston. However, I think Boston beats them. Sixers could be an interesting matchup, right? But I don't know if Dame and Giannis kind of do their thing. I think that they'd be fine in that regard. The Knicks without Julius Randle, right? So there's still, like, the Bucks are kind of lucky that the East is so weak. Because, I mean, it really is, if we're being honest. I mean, you look at the West. The West is an absolute juggernaut. The West is just insane. Like, you can make a genuine argument for all 10 teams right now in the Western Conference. Now, some teams you can make an argument for better than others, but, like, genuinely. I mean, The 9th and 10th seed are still the Lakers and the Warriors, two teams that are more than capable of beating anybody and winning a championship, right? With their experience and just their talent level that they still have, right? So you look to the East and it's like, is Orlando really winning anything? Probably not. The Pacers really winning anything? Probably not. Bulls and Hawks will be lucky to even make it out of the play-in, let alone winning anything. The Cavs, I'm not really sold on Cleveland. The Knicks, I think that they could still cause some teams trouble, but I think with Julius Randle out, I think that kind of packs them up. Although I think that, you still got OG, still got some depth, got some nice guard play. Like, I could see them making a surprise. But I mean, outside of the Celtics, the Bucks, the Heat, and the Sixers, it's basically it, right? And the Heat and the Sixers are probably playing each other in the first play-in game. And let's say that they both make it 7th or 8th. I mean, you could have a first-round matchup of the Bucks and the Heat and the Sixers and the Celtics. Like, I wouldn't be shy. If the Bucks play Miami, they could be a first-round exit, which is crazy to think about. With Dame and Giannis, you're the 2 seed, but genuinely could end up playing Miami and losing in the first round just like last year. Because Miami matches up great against them. Miami can absolutely beat them. I don't have a lot of faith in the Milwaukee Bucks. I love Giannis, right? I love Dame, but they just haven't looked good as a pairing. They just haven't looked good as a duo. And not all duos are equally matched, right? Not all duos make great tag team partners, right? Like, not every duo is going to be Kobe and Shaq, right? It's tough because this team at times just looks so out of sorts, so unserious. Like, they look like a team and you're just like, how are they even, like, how are they not fighting for a play-in spot, right? Like, how is this team not at the bottom of the standings rather than the top of the standings? And it's like, then you have these games, right? Like, where it's like, okay, they look good, right? This is a team that you could see maybe making some noise, beating some teams, right? Like, they on the surface, they match up, right? Like, you look at the games against, like, the Celtics. They, like, ran through the Celtics. Look great against the Celtics. And you're like, okay, this is a team that can really just watch out, right? They could easily win an NBA championship. They have Dame and Giannis. Of course they can, right? I mean, even in the Celtics game that they lost, right? It was still a tight game. It was still close. And you've seen them against some of these top teams, right? You've seen them beat the Cavs. You've seen them beat Phoenix, right? You've seen them beat some of these high-powered teams that are questionable. It's like, oh, can they handle this, right? Are they gonna lose to this team, right? But I don't know. It's like Doc Rivers, I just don't trust. I don't really believe in Doc. I don't think he's an upgrade over Vaughn. Like, I don't even know why they decided to replace him. It's like, Doc is a guy that, outside of the Boston Celtics, with a team that I could have coached, like, what success has he really had? He's had more disappointing, underachieving seasons than he has had successful, unbelievable, how did they do that seasons. There's just, I don't like the coach, right? Like, how many games is he going to coach where he's the clear-cut better coach? Right? Like, if they play Miami in the first round, not only does Miami match up well, but Eric Spoelstra is probably going to coach circles around Doc Rivers. Like, seriously. What team would they play that you look at and you go, man, Doc Rivers is a much better coach? I maybe the Celtics and Joe Mazzulla might be it, because I think Joe Mazzulla is as bad, if not. That's basically it. I mean, I don't trust their coach. I don't trust their team. Yes, people are going off of like they have Dame and Giannis, and yeah, that's great, but they have not been Dame. I mean, Giannis has been Giannis. Giannis has been spectacular, but Damian Lillard has kind of been a shell of himself in many ways. Damian Lillard has not looked like the Damian Lillard that we're accustomed to, the Damian Lillard that we know and love, and that, can take over games. And he's had moments, he's had games, he's had stretches, right? I mean, even in that Toronto game, I mean, he had 36 points, but it's just, he's not controlling and dominating a game like he used to, right? Like, he was in control. He was in command, right? Like, he dictated games at points. Now it's like he drops 36 and it's almost like it doesn't matter. And it's just like, he had years where if he dropped 36, that was it. Like, you were trying to hold him under 30, and if you did that, you won. If he dropped 30 plus, that was it. You're going home, right? Like, so I get the perception of like, ooh, Damian Lillard, ooh, Giannis. I don't think that the pairing has worked this year. And look, a lot of like pairings and a lot of just, I don't know if you call it a super team, but like, you get my point. Like, a lot of like, when you take multiple stars and you put them together, very rarely do they have huge success in the first year, right? Usually it takes them a year or two to kind of figure it out. But one, how does Giannis take it? Does Giannis kind of go, you know what? I need to get out of here still, because he was already putting pressure. Dame's only getting older. Dame's not a spring chicken anymore. So it's a tough spot, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think it's panic mode for the Milwaukee Bucks? Do you think that like they should be panicking, freaking out? Do you think, they'll be all right? It'll all work out. Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked the video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.